Jordan. Happy Figured Out Friday. Happy Figured Out Friday. Put TGIF in the chat. John Root with that sun glistening right there on you. Put TGIF on there. Why Joy is doing her hair. I love it, Joy. I don't care. I love you doing your hair. You get that hair all done up nicely down in Florida. Put TGIF in there. Amy Kane, put those biceps away. Amy Kane, put those biceps. She's like eating protein all. She's just eating protein. It looks like a fruit, but it's just protein. Just eating it. Just absorbing it. What up, Sarah? Good morning, Dennis. Michelle from TX's. John Hart, always bringing it from Tennessee, Tennessee. Got quite a few Florida people here. What up, Danny? Rob Pettit, my cousin Rob Pettit in the house. Good morning, brother. I was just so funny, Rob. I was just thinking about you yesterday. I need to reach out to you. I haven't talked to you in a while. Christian, what up, man? It was good hearing your voice this morning, Christian, reaching out. Guys, I don't know about you all, but if you look in the video, I don't know what Danny does, but it always fascinates me. Like she looks like she's in a secret lab. It looks like Jurassic Park's over there or something. I just like to think like my life's very exciting. But let me just tell you, this is what I deal with behind the scenes. Like these two will fight while I'm going to try to have this podcast over here. And Kathy's actually part of Animal Rescue. So for you animal lovers, you're really going to like today's story and leaning into Kathy as well as these two animals over here might need to be rescued pretty soon, though, if I get done with them, because they are really driving me crazy. What up, Belinda? Good morning to you, Belinda. Good morning to you all. So, guys, my name is Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And it is all DAD mode for me this weekend. We got Holy Communion Retreat. So got that this Saturday. I'm doing that. We're gonna figure that out. I made a rookie mistake, all Fran. I made a huge rookie mistake. I told my kids, I looked at the weather, John, and I said, "Hey guys, maybe we can go to the beach this weekend." I think that'd be a really cool idea. Like, I mean, the weather's great. And I tell everybody, look at your calendars. Make sure you got your calendars. So I made this silly comment, Kathy, to come down to see where you are down at the beach. And I forgot about Bryce's first communion retreat. So then I had to go tell them we're not going. And you would think that I just told them that they just lost the $1.3 million closing check or something when I told them. Whew. So Brielle wants me to take her. She said, "Can you still take me out of school early today, Dad?" So I'm contemplating that still. That was part of my Facebook Live for Justine that I had to do. I had to do my Facebook Live, and I was contemplating taking her out of school. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what unfolds today. But it is a beautiful, beautiful day today. Just very blessed and thankful to have you all here. So thank you so much for being on our Figured Out Friday show. We got a special guest today, Miss Kathy. I was blessed to have a conversation with her, I don't know, several weeks ago. And I just am truly thankful that God puts people in my life and in conversations come into it. And so I was listening to Kathy. She was telling me her story, and we shared several similarities, divorce and, challenges and moving. But then she shared one, we were talking about the snow, and she was telling me about what the cold weather does to her. And then she started getting into like her fall and what happened to her health, and like her whole life started to take a change. And I don't know about you all, but God has we have a plan, and then God sets the plan. And we have no choice but to have the faith that we have to go into and lean into that plan that he has for us. It might not make sense. We're like, what the hell? What do you mean? Like I had it all figured out. And then something else takes shape. And so when I was listening to her story, I said, I'd love to have you on the show today because I know you are going to inspire somebody. You're going to speak to somebody today. And that's what this whole Figured Out Friday escalated to and started into, is helping others, inspire other people, motivate people that you're not alone. And so when you hear Kathy's story, maybe it's you, a family member, a loved one, I don't know, maybe a colleague. I want you, when we put her information at the end, like reach out to her. First, thank her for appreciating sharing the story. And then second, maybe there's a connection. Maybe there's something that we can help somebody else out with. So, without further ado, as you all love here in this beautiful family that we have, put some fives in the chat for those of you who know how to do those heart emojis. Use those heart emojis. I know John Root does. John Root's all about those heart emojis. He's going to get all into Fran. Look at Fran's got those heart emojis. Rika, put those heart emojis. Put some fives in the chat. And welcome, Miss Kathy. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Brock. I am so blessed to be here today. Thank you for having me on your show.
Well, thank you so much for taking time and on this beautiful, beautiful time that you got. I'm sure walking the beach is
It,
is
it's
is an
it's a beautiful
option that
day.
you.
It's a beautiful day at the beach. Boy, you nailed it at choosing this weekend, but unfortunately, you can't make it.
It is. I used to say, what I used to say, a rainy day at the beach is better than a sunny day at work.
That is
So
correct. That is
I will
correct.
take that anytime.
It's a great
Well,
life
thank you
here at
so much.
Myrtle Beach.
What's that?
I said it's a great life here at Myrtle Beach.
It is. It is. And North Myrtle is one of our hot spots that we go to. And so, for those that that don't know you and our amazing family that we have on here, the infamous question. I think some of you already know my questions out loud. The 10,000 foot overview. Give us a kind of a little background of who you are, so people get to know you as we get into our journey today.
Gosh, I'm not sure where to even start, but I moved down here about 4.5 years ago. Before that, I was in the Lake Norman area for many, many years. Raised my kids there. I have three daughters, grown daughters. One grandson who's 7, who will be here today. His spring break begins this coming week, so he always stays with us spring break.
Don't you love when spring breakers come to where you live?
Oh, I
It's
really do.
amazing.
I really do. And I get him every year at spring break, so it's so great. So great. Um, I don't know. As far as real estate goes, I've been involved in real estate in some form or fashion. I was giving this some thought, being a guest on your show, in some form or fashion for my whole entire adult life. I mean, I did take a break for about 12 or 13 years and went into dentistry, but that was when times were tough in real estate, 2010, 11, 12. And I was a single parent with the three girls and needed a paycheck. But real estate and dentistry are very similar, so I didn't stray too far off of my calling. Um, I started off in property management. I was 18 years old managing a 309 unit apartment complex in Charlotte with one assistant.
That is crazy. 18-year-olds doing that. Like I was
18.
trying to figure out where the drinking party was and how to make out with the girl, and you're like managing like properties.
Well, again, I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to survive. Instead of working three jobs, I figured out I could work one because back then they provided your rent and utilities and a salary. So I was able to survive. So that was a strategic move to keep my head above water, and I just kind of stuck with it. Then I went on and married the painting contractor at the property and left property management to help him run his business, at which I still stayed involved in the multifamily housing industry because I was involved with the Charlotte Apartment Association, and those were our clients. For a year, I was president of the Products and Services Council at the CAA. I was on the board of directors. And when we started, he had about a $70,000 a year painting business. And by the time I jumped in and devised a business plan, we were doing $3.5 million a year. So I was taking a business administration course at Central Piedmont because I'm an education junkie.
Hmm.
And I happened to be taking a class and we had to write a business plan. And I thought, well, shoot, why don't I just write my own business plan? Why don't I use me as the example? And it came pretty easy to me, and we just followed that plan, and we were breaking down some walls back then. We were the number one game in town until APCO came. Wendy will tell you all about that. But that was a good life for years. And then when we divorced, I got my real estate license. Went off on my own and did that and loved that. again, until times were hard and I had to go into dentistry. When I moved down here 4.5 years ago, I had a friend's dad who had about 10 Airbnb properties, and I was cleaning those for him. It was a great gig. I loved it. It was great exercise. I took care of the same units all the time. It was my schedule when they became available. I cleaned them and turned them over and, um, told them, hey, this rug's tired. They would say, we trust your judgment. You're a good decorator. Go replace it. Loved doing that. The money was great. And I learned a lot about short term rentals, actually, which really kind of brought me full circle now that I have my real estate license. In a crazy way, I look back and think that just wasn't by accident. Um,
Sometimes you just got to get immersed into whatever it is, and I'm a very big believer of just, dive into the deep end. You'll
yeah.
figure out how to swim.
Well,
You'll figure it out.
and if you think about it, so I've occupied all aspects of real estate, property management. I mean, right down to being the hands-on, taking care of the property person. And that was a lot of fun. And like I told you a few weeks ago, we had snow here last January. I was just outside with my dog and took the notion to go get the mail out of the mailbox, which was ridiculous. The mail hadn't run for 3 days and hit the pavement, slipped. Next thing you know, I'm on my back. Hit the ground so hard. Fortunately, my Apple Watch called 911, which my husband was with me. And I
That's
said, no,
crazy.
just get me upstairs. Just let me lay down. And they showed up because I wasn't answering their calls or text messages and said, you really need to go with us. And I said, no, no, no. And they said, come on, your ride's here. The ambulance here. Let's go. So I went on. They did a CT scan and they said, oh, no, 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 we cannot help you here. You've got to be transported to the trauma unit. I had cracked the back of my skull through a toboggan, but the skin didn't break because of the toboggan, so I thought I was fine. The back of my skull was cracked. I had two brain bleeds and a concussion. I
Just
was in,
going to get the mailbox.
to go into the mailbox. I was in ICU for 5 days. 5 days. At this point, they worry about a seizure or a stroke, so I had to be under surveillance all the time. For about 2 months, I had tremendous headaches. It was like having a migraine 24/7,
Mm.
vertigo 24/7. It was awful. Couldn't drive, couldn't work, couldn't do anything. Tried to drink wine. My husband said, you can't do that. I said, what? So what
I
am
mean,
I,
you gotta try it all. You gotta
what is
try
there to do
everything. I
then?
mean, might as well give it a shot.
If I can't day drink while I'm here doing nothing, come on. Um, it was a tremendously humbling experience because I'm not used to sitting still. And there have been times in my life where God has had me sit still to say, you need to take some inventory. I'm
Mm,
very good at taking inventory, but not when it lasts for 3 months. I
mm.
get very impatient then. So it just gave me an opportunity to think, what am I doing with my life? Um, I loved cleaning the Airbnbs, but was I really living up to my potential? No, and we all knew it. It just was for right now. It wasn't Mr. Right, it was Mr. Right now. So it just gave me a chance to sit back and think, and I thought, well, what am I passionate about? So I reached out to my friend Carolyn.
I'm gonna ask you one question before. See,
Sure.
they all get to have conversations with me in the green room. So I tell them, I'm like, I might interrupt you because you
Oh,
said
it's fine.
something really.
Totally fine.
So you said two things. God wanted you to slow down. And
Mm,
unfortunately, sometimes our slowdown is almost like I got to make you stop because you constantly are moving all the time. Where
mm-hmm.
you said to this, you said, I need to take inventory. And I want you guys to write that down. I want you at some point this weekend. It's beautiful here down south. I don't know where you live. You all live in different parts of the country, and we're thankful to have you all here. But take time to ask yourself and to check your inventory and to sit down for 10 minutes. Don't do it with your pods on. Don't do it while you're trying to drive. It's like in a moment where you're completely quiet and still to take inventory on yourself because you said this, Kathy, like, well, I did and I took inventory. And then Then you were like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And so you said this, am I living up to my potential? Write that down, all. Are you living up to your potential? It's kind of like when at the gym today, I was kind of like half-assing it on one of my workouts. I was doing upright rows and I was just like, I'm just going to grab these 30-pound weights. And I did it. And I was just like, I know I could do more than that. Like, but 30 pounds were right there. There was nothing else. The next weight would have to go to 50. And I was just like, eh. And I said to myself, so kind of what triggered into me is like,
Yeah.
I'm not really living up to my potential right now in this weight. I'm already here. I might as well just
I
frickin' do
told you.
it and just go
Yeah.
grab the heavier weight. And so when you said that, though, you made it seem like, oh, this is really simple. I just sat here for 15 minutes.
No.
Walk us through a little bit of that like process because somebody's in that storm right now. Somebody here is trying to figure out if they're living up to their potential. What potential do they have? What was that thought like for you? And like, how long was that? I'm sure it wasn't an hour. Like, walk
No.
us through that to help somebody
No.
this morning.
Well, it's funny because I didn't really tell my friend and his wife that I wasn't coming back to the cleaning. I still wanted to keep that available just in case my figure out episode didn't work. That was my comfort zone. I guess it's kind of like when you go into real estate and you're not quitting your job because you just need to keep that just in case.
Mm.
My figure it out just took a long time because I had day in, day out walking the beach, constantly asking God, okay, where is it you want me to be? I'm not one of those why me people. I tend to think more like, what am I supposed to be learning through this? God, show me the way. Talk to me. Give me a sign. Show me something. And I reached out to my friend Carolyn because she's very well connected in the area, and I said, you know me, you know me. What do you think I should do? And I'd helped her paint her house, and we'd done projects together. And she was driving back from Georgia visiting her son, and unplanned just came to her. And she's told me so many times, I have no idea why I said this to you. It was like God was speaking through me. She said, why don't you get your real estate license and come partner up with me? And that was the first exciting thing that I had thought of the whole time I'd been out. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. And then when I hung up the phone, my brain still wasn't functioning very well. I couldn't remember things. I would have conversations with people and the words would escape me. They were out there, but I couldn't pull them into my head out of my mouth. So people that didn't know me probably thought, gosh, she's not very smart. What's wrong with her? Um, so so I started doing the online training, and eventually saw that through to get my license. But even before that, um, I'm very, very called with animals. I always want to do something with animals. When I was 4 years old, my pretend grandparents took me to the circus. I thought they were hitting the tigers. At 4, I jumped up out of my seat, went running down the stairs. Don't you hit those tigers. And they had to come grab me, put me back, and explain to me they weren't abusing the tigers. So I started chatting with a shelter in Pawleys Island, about 30 minutes from me, all four paws. They had me doing some at home data entry things. And then the day before I was supposed to go start my first training working at the front desk there, I'd gone to the new member orientation, all that kind of stuff. But remember, I had debilitating headaches all day, every day. The day before that, when I went to bed that night, I said, Lord, please give me one day break from a headache, just one day. I want to go. I want to do my best. I want to show up. I want to make a difference. Just give me one day break. Do you know I didn't have a headache the next day and it never came back? So to
Wow.
me, that was one of those signs that, girl, you're on the right path. Keep going. Keep going. This is where you're supposed to be. I'm a big believer in if you feel like a salmon swimming upstream, maybe you need to stop and break out your map and see, am I really on the right path? I mean, I get that there are times that there are hardships it's kind of taking you through a growth process, and it's just going to be hard no matter what path you're on. I get it. There's things you need to learn, and you got to stick with the lesson. But sometimes when the universe just opens the door and allows you to come through, I always get the feeling that I'm in the right place. I'm going in the right direction.
I love it. I love it. I just, I appreciate you sharing that. I appreciate, the ups and the downs because, you know, it wasn't overnight all. She constantly was walking the beach. She constantly was talking. Like it's not, it's kind of like when the internet goes out. It's like, oh my gosh, the internet goes out, then we have a panic attack, then we run all over the place and we're trying to get it fixed and we don't stop till we get it fixed and we want it to be fixed right away. And it's just like things don't happen. It was a movie in Rudy or the movie's Rudy, and there's a saying in the movie. It says the priest says to Rudy, he says things don't happen on our time; they happen on God's time.
Hmm.
And many times we just have to absorb that and appreciate that. That when the timing's coming, I'm terrible on it because I have zero patience. I want everything now, and if I don't get it now, I gotta I want to bust through the door. And New Brock actually pauses a little bit and kind of takes some time to be like, okay, maybe there's something else here that I'm missing because I'm so laser focused on this. And as we pivot in turn going towards the finish line here, you know, you shared what you went through, what you're growing through in with the animal shelter and the real estate and balancing things and you're still living that life. What is it today that you're trying to figure out today? Where are you, what season are you in today that you're trying to figure out?
Gosh, today now I'm trying to figure out how to juggle it all. I've laid the groundwork to get real estate going, my real estate business here going, and it was very difficult to start all over in a brand new area where I didn't have the sphere of influence that I had in North Carolina. I'm 60 years old in South Carolina and I make friends everywhere I go, but it's still not the same. So I worked really hard to sow the seeds of, hey guys, I'm in real estate, whether it's constantly just tearing everybody up on social media like, hey, I'm here, remember me, I'm in real estate, you trust me, I know what I'm doing.
So you became instead of a, and they always instead of they call themselves the secret agent. You exposed yourself and started to say, like, man, I'm like, you sounds like you're a secret agent. Like, nope, if your friend is getting a house without you, you're a secret agent. They don't know
Right.
that you do real estate. So you elevated that to the next level.
Yeah. Well, and I was very humble about it too.
Right.
My thing is that so many realtors and so many people in this business want to go out and present themselves like, oh, I'm perfect, everything's great. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I literally, one of my first posts was, guys, I'm just trying to get started here. I would just love it if you would just give me a shot. Just talk to me and just give me a chance to prove to you that I will really go above and beyond. And that's how we've kind of established our business here and separate ourselves. We do things that most realtors don't do to earn your trust, and that's just who we are. I mean, we want to stage your place, we want to paint it, we want to get it sold, we want it to look great. And we've been sowing those seeds and doing all that hard work and making those connections. And this is a week that all of a sudden the floodgates have opened. I have literally picked up 10 new clients by myself this week that are ready to go. My partner is out of town and it's just been on fire, and I just feel the electricity in my veins. So what I'm struggling with is, I've spent a couple of days down at the shelter this week working on photographing the dogs to make them adoptable. I work with a photographer there and helped get some feral cats spayed and neutered and picked them up and brought them back. The ferals are right here on the beach. We care for them. And this week, I'm just trying to figure out how to juggle it all. But I'm coming back into my, if you've ever been a parent, a single parent, whatever, you learn the juggling act. So it's like riding a bicycle. I'm just
Hmm.
jumping back on, hanging onto the bars, hoping I don't fall off.
I love it. I love it. And she said something. I'm gonna give you guys. What is it that separates yourself from your competition? How do you separate and elevate yourself from your competition that's out there? In the line that I also use, just for bonus scripts there, that she says is, could you give me an at bat? Could you throw my name in the hat? What are the chances I could put my name in the hat to have an at bat? What does that look like? And so put that in your own perspective, your own personality of how that is when you're talking to people. Because if you don't ask, you have not if you ask not.
You
Okay?
gotta
Plain and
ask.
simple.
Yeah.
God talks about it all the time. Now, as we start to conclude today, the most infamous question that I like to ask every guest on here is, what is the one thing that you would like to leave us with? Everything that you've been through, the highs and the lows, the challenges, the divorces, the moving, starting over, having that sitting in those hospital beds and you just don't know the everything that you have. What would be the one thing that you'd like to leave us with today?
I think that we are all far more resilient than we give ourselves credit for. Um, it's unfortunate that we don't believe that we're that resilient until we are put to the test. And how you walk through that fire, that is what defines you. Not the fact that you're in the fire. We all end up in the fire. We all, whether it's self induced, whether we've made our own mistakes, or the universe just, threw us in there. We all are going to walk through the fire. Who you are when you get to the other side of that, that is your defining moment. And we are all far more resilient than we ever know until we've been put to the test. So when I find myself personally in a test like that, I just have to say, all right, here we go. What do you have for me now? I mean, Lord, I don't know how much better you're planning on making me. And uh, um, you have far greater confidence in me sometimes than I have in myself. But over my entire life, it has not been easy. And many, many times I've thought, gosh, guys, I'm really sorry if I made this look easy because it really wasn't. But that's who we are when we get to the other side. And when I look back at my life, Brock, I wouldn't change a thing.
Mm,
It made me the person that I am today.
amen.
And
Amen.
I like who I am, and I'm proud to be who I am. I earned every bit of this, you know.
I love it. Guys, put some hearts in the chat. Put some loves in. Put a five in the chat. You all know I love my fives. Put some fives in the chat. Give some love to Kathy on that. I mean, it is so like believing in yourself. Just approach. I always think of in the movie Gladiator when he grabs the dirt and he rubs it, and he's kind of like, and he's just like, and that's how you have to be in life. You got to approach it. You can't run from it. And I love it. I love it so much, Kathy. And thank you so much for sharing and pouring into you. Now, guys, we put Kathy's. Oh, we got a lot. We got like 17 new chats over here, Kathy. For you, got to move all these fives out of the way here. Um, Grace, I know you put Kathy's information on here. If you could put it on again now that we got all the fives. Um, if you guys want to reach out to Kathy, you got a referral in Myrtle Beach, you got something that you want to share with her. Maybe there's a story that you have, maybe a friend, an acquaintance that you have, and you just want to thank Kathy, or you want to send her a text message after the show and appreciate her for what she shared this morning. All her stuff is in there: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, her cell phone, and email on there. So give her some love. And Kathy, I want to say thank you so much for taking time this morning and sharing on our show and our wonderful family we have.
Thank you, Brock. It's been my pleasure. Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Well, guys, I appreciate you all being on here. Another week in. It is a Figure It Out Friday episode. Guys, you can check me out this episode as well as any other episode or coaching that I've done at the Brock Zevans. You can go to my YouTube page. You can also check us out on the Brock Zevans Mindset Coaching Facebook, the private Facebook page. So feel free to go back there and check it out. Invite some more people, have them come on. If you have a guest that you think that we need to bring on here, please reach out to me, Grace, or Jay. We love to interview them and have conversations with them. For my four-legged friends that we have over here, Gemma and Leo, I'm blessed and honored to be able to be here. Thank you all so much. We'll be back Monday at 8:15 Eastern Time with our main man, Mr. Chad Free. Till then, go look at your inventory. Go have conversations with God. Be blessed. Have a great and safe weekend. Till then, see ya.
Thank you, Brock.